Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So the market has been very choppy the last few days, uh, somewhat thanks to the Fed and Powell, of course, not cutting interest rates, but we have 4 months left of that. So in the meantime, the year 2026 has been off to a great start, other than the recent choppiness this week. So I want to go over the trade wins so far this year and open trades. And I'm going to include, as far as an income review, I'm going to include income from the SPACs and FDRXX from last year to review how we did versus what I did, when I said, the eighth stream of income. I want to go over, once I started doing that, how well that actually did. So let me go ahead and share my spreadsheet over here. So there's been a lot of good opportunity in the market. So pretty much all of my covered calls this week are going to pay out, including especially SMCX. I've been selling calls at essentially $14 now, so way in the money. But if it keeps dropping, why not sell calls, right? So let me go over. So back to basically July of last year. Let's start up here at the top right corner. So SPACs and FDRXX. So I was taking in about $1,856 a month before I moved over everything from Schwab. And so annualized, that was like 22,266. So I consider this actually better than dividend income in a sense. Let me make this nice and big. And then by August, it went up to 2417. It was inching up. So that was actually a increase to 29,000. And then by September, it started snowballing because I was transferring more money. So across 4 accounts that pay out, it was 2503, which annualized to 30,000. And then October and November, it hit its peak. So it was 3226 in October between SPACs and FDRXX. And again, this is money that's just like CD interest, basically, or money market interest on options premium that's not even mine, not even realized premium yet. A lot of people confuse. They think when you sell options for premium and that premium moves to where you're at a loss, that's like that you've already taken a loss. But that's actually what's called an unrealized gain. And that's not my terminology. That's actually accounting terminology. So anybody out there that doesn't understand that, maybe brush up on their accounting and their financial terminology. Because unrealized gain, when you sell premium and it moves against you, but you're waiting to get assigned, it's not a realized gain until you sell. So with that being said, on to November. So November was the best month, 3291, and this is annualized 39,500. So we were really rolling, but because of positions getting assigned in December, we came back down to 281114, which is about 33,733.68 per year. So this turned out to be really good. Obviously, I was hoping every month could be as good as November, but on positions that are open like that, we're eventually going to get assigned. So I have here all of my open trades here. And for most of these, so I have these across essentially 5 accounts. The most recent one I opened, NBIG, for Nebius, one I'm excited about. I'm actually, and I'll show this in a follow-up video. As far as the premium I've realized, a lot of these I've already realized at least half of the premium on. So NBIG, I took in almost 10,000 there. Of course, here's my trade for WPay from the home equity account. Now, if you all like this, please smash that like button and comment and subscribe and join Discord. So I've got in home equity here, I've got a nice amount of premium here. So already the home equity experiment is paying off because I've got 63,000 in unrealized premium sitting there. Between all the accounts, basically, it's up to 235,000 in premium that's just sitting there. Now, let me highlight this one to you all here, because this one I'm actually going to win by the end of this week. This is SMCX at $14, a call option. That's about 1,889 in premium. So that one's going to all get realized. I've done a similar trade in other accounts over here too. So I'm actually taking in money. Unfortunately, SMCX keeps dropping, but I have puts open as well. You'll notice here, I opened up puts where I actually bought the puts as protection. So those puts are actually higher in value than what I bought for. So all in all, I'm trying to hedge as best as I can, but you can only do so much with a falling knife, I guess. Anyway, as far as realized gains, just in the first, not even 2 weeks of the year, AMDL, my position in the home equity account, sold calls for 740, realized all of that one. I'm also selling calls on my TQQQ positions on the way down, 663 and 636 in 2 different accounts already. NVDL, already twice this year, I've hit this one with the shares that I own of NVDL. I've sold at 95 and 90, so that's 3,300 in premium taken in. And then TQQQ in another account at 55. I did get assigned on some SMCL. That's the Granite shares position. But all in all, it's the year has been off to a really good start. So let's do this over here. I'll show you some trade history in the account here. I got assigned on PTIR. So part of the wheel strategy, of course, is getting assigned. So PTIR got assigned. A lot of stuff is on loan. I got my WPay dividend. Now I'm a little bit concerned because the WPay dividend is dropping. It's down to 463. And then here's PTIR where I got assigned. Took a dividend from UPRO. A lot of people forget UPRO pays a dividend as well. And then more, let's see here. Oh, that's SMCL, which I'm assigned on now. That's beautiful, of course. Let's see here. NVDL. There's the one that I got the 1623 for. And then I need to put together as well because I'm getting income funding out securities and stuff as well. So I've got to put those together as far as how much that's been. I got assigned on Fubo TV. That's one I believe in long term. It's starting to gain back some ground. There's my WA. I should have waited a little bit because I could have actually taken in 4,000 because it's dropped again. There's my TQQQ. You can kind of match up if you pause and go back to my prior screen. You can match up the trades to what I showed there. Fully transparent again. Here is some interest. I believe this interest is actually from the lending program, but I've got to actually call them and verify because I'm not sure where this money came from. Nice problem, right? To have money in your account and not be sure where it came from. But anyway, all in all, and then I'm wheeling more into TSLL. Of course, you can see all my trades on the other screen, but I sold more puts for premium to wheel back into TSLL. So with that being said, hey, Coffeeholic, welcome. Haven't seen you on in a while. But yeah, I'm just going over all the income for this. So even though the market's been choppy, we're taking in a lot of decent income, and I'm super excited. And ironically, at the end of the year, SMCX paid a dividend as well. But yeah, wheeling back into TSLL, still getting money from Misty, the little bit of Misty that I still have. And yeah, overall, we're off to a really good start for this year. So let me do a summation here real quick. Let me summate these two columns here. And then, okay, so that's for the month of January so far. This is 6,168, pretty good. Now, half of this is in retirement account, so it's not something to necessarily write home about, but it is something to talk about on YouTube. Because after all, we live in the 21st century. We don't necessarily write, anymore. We're online folks. We're digital nomads, right? Okay, so let me just add these together really quick. So this is actually 2025 income. So this isn't affecting, hang on a second, that I get my infamous, hey, welcome. Okay, so here we go. So this one, cell N8 plus this one, that's 16,105 for, let's see, July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's 6 months is what I thought. So this divided by 6 months. So we were averaging in the account 2684 per month. So annualized, that would be 32. So that's about in line with what we got for December. In fact, December exceeded our average a little bit. Okay, so all in all, pretty good. 6,000 a month, that's definitely a livable income, and we're only halfway through the month. So we're going to do a lot better with this one. So the portfolio has taken a hit in terms of total value, but we're still in a prime position to make good money as far as income. And income and cash flow is what matters, right? Cash flow is king, as they say. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, again, remember to smash that like button, subscribe, and join the Discord, and comment, and, bounce ideas off. And we'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.